Always on your side. This is First Coast News at 11.
We heard one shot and it sounded like a balloon pop. Then we heard the second, third, and fourth shots. And after that, that's when we dug down, and then everybody else started coming out trying to escape for their lives.
What do you want people in Jacksonville to hear? What do you want leaders to hear you say?
Politicians, wake up, because the people that you're supposed to be representing are dying. You stop sitting on your butt, stop collecting checks, and do something. You guys are voting into office for a reason.
I say this: pray for Jacksonville as we deal with this senseless tragedy.
I just want to be here to hug families, to hug our city, to hug my children.
I pray that there's a solution soon. I pray that we become better people. And I pray that this country has some kind of unification, because we are desperately in need of it.
Tragedy today at the Jacksonville landing. Tonight, the landmark is still taped off after a gunman this afternoon killed 2 people and then turned the gun on himself.
That shooter, identified as David Katz, was 24 years old and living in Baltimore, Maryland. He was in town for a video game tournament. So this is new video that we're about to take a look at of FBI agents raiding his home tonight. Authorities in Florida say the FBI and the ATF are assisting in the investigation in Baltimore. And we've just learned that they have cleared the scene.
So here is the latest information for you tonight. 2 victims are dead, shot by that gunman. The gunman is also dead himself.
11 people were hurt and they are recovering tonight. Governor Rick Scott arrived on the First Coast about 2 hours ago, and he is visiting with the survivors. You're going to hear from him in just a few minutes. And right now, we know that most of the streets around the landing will be reopening overnight. The only exception is Hogan Street south of Water Street.
Right now, we have team coverage for you, and we start with our co-anchor, Heather Crawford. She's been talking with people who were there when all of this happened, all the chaos, very frightening situation.
That's right, Jeannie. Just a gut-wrenching day for all of us here in Jacksonville, all of us here on the First Coast. You know, this was supposed to be a fun Madden gaming tournament that people from around the country came here to the Jacksonville landing to attend, to play in. And in the end, many of them left running for their lives. Now, the sheriff told us today that this is what they planned for. They pray that it will never happen, but today it happened here in our city, and he said they were prepared. Now, this mass shooting unfolded just after 1:30 this afternoon here at the Jacksonville landing, one of our landmarks, and you can see behind me the Jacksonville landing tonight still roped off as local, state, and federal authorities try and figure out why. What was the motive behind all of this? And that is the same question all of the witnesses I spoke with today are asking tonight. Rico Martinez and Javari Long were on their way to the Madden tournament at the Jacksonville landing when chaos erupted.
Screaming, just shooting, I heard gunshots, people just running, pushing each other, just getting out of the landing.
People was coming out through the front, people was shot, like, I seen the girl, she's not little, but she's young, like she probably was a high schooler, shot in the leg, I don't know where on the leg, they was.
Garrett Chastain had flown in town for the tournament that drew in gamers from around the country. He was supposed to be there. As he made his way to the landing, a stream of police cars flew past him.
I'm really glad I'm okay, but I'm more concerned for the others.
Well, I was planning on going there this morning and being there all day just to see what happens, whether I was competing or not. And I just decided, no, I'm going to stay in the hotel for a little bit.
Sheriff Mike Williams says it took police just 2 minutes from the time the first 911 call came in to get to the scene, which is just a short distance from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office headquarters. But in that time, the lone shooter, a gamer himself, killed 2 people and injured many more before taking his own life.
Words can't describe it. I mean, Mad Dads have been doing this for 15 years. And sometimes you just run out of things to say. I just want to be here to hug families, to hug our city, to hug my children.
And so many people grieving here tonight. Right behind the crime scene tape on that side is a group of peaceful protesters, some with Moms Demand Action, some with Living in Peace, who have gathered here tonight to let their voices be heard, to say enough is enough. This violence has to stop. They are organizing right now a rally, a peaceful prayer rally, which they tell me is going to take place here in downtown Jacksonville at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. And I want to let you know that there is a family assistance center that has now opened. It's at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. It's for any families impacted. That is the latest from the Jacksonville landing. Heather Crawford, First Coast News, on your side.
Heather, thank you. And we know that a lot of the people we talked to who survived the shooting, they're thankful. But of course, some are fed up and they're demanding action tonight.
They are tonight. First Coast News' Eric Alvarez spoke to a couple. They're from Chicago. I'm sure you've heard a lot about Chicago lately. All too familiar with gun violence. Eric?
Yeah, that's right. Earlier today, I spoke to that young couple who came here to Jacksonville all the way from the Windy City to participate in this tournament. They were getting ready to play their next matchup when those shots rang out.
Everybody started rushing to the front trying to escape.
Taylor Poindexter and Marquise Williams took a break from the tournament to grab a drink at the bar when they heard loud pops followed by screams.
I saw the back of the shooter. Looked like he had on an army green shirt.
They only caught a glimpse before darting for the door. Poindexter sprained her ankle diving for cover, but both escaped with only minor injuries.
We basically got out for our lives. He actually made it out before me, and shortly after I was behind him, and I'm calling out to him. He actually helped me up because I couldn't walk by then. My ankle was out, and we made it around the corner for safety. So thank God we was able to do that.
The shooting only lasted a few seconds, but 3 people are dead, including the gunman, and 11 others ended up in the hospital. Williams says he's only telling his story so that elected officials will take notice.
To the politicians, wake up, because the people are dying on the streets and you guys are going through the same motions over and over and over again. Does it take for someone close to you to lose their lives to gun violence for you to wake up and realize to do something? Because quite frankly, I'm tired of seeing people hurt, dying on the news, or quite frankly today, being shot in front of my face.
Now, even though they only suffered minor physical injuries, both are understandably on edge. In fact, Williams tells me while he was at the hospital, someone dropped a soda can in the hallway and the sound sounded like a bang, sent his heart rate skyrocketing. Tonight, both are wondering if and when they will ever feel normal again. Eric Alvarez, First Coast News, on your side.
Thank you, Eric. I'm sure that's going to be a while they try to comprehend exactly what happened. And as I mentioned earlier, Governor Rick Scott is here in Jacksonville to respond to the shooting.
He came to Memorial Hospital to visit with some of the survivors. And our Jeff Vallon is standing by live there, tracking some new developments tonight. Jeff?
Yeah, Jeannie and Anthony, there were 3 victims here whom he visited today. They are all expected to be okay. More about them in a moment. But Governor Scott did visit UF Health as well as then Memorial Hospital, visiting a total of 5 victims, I am told. He held a press conference about 9:30 tonight, and here are some of his first words.
I think we've got to pray about it now. You got to take action. You can't just pray about something. But something's got to change. What is causing these young men not to value life? Whether it's their own life or somebody else's life, there's something wrong.
Now here's a tweet from the mother of one of the victims at UF Health. As for the victims here at Memorial Hospital, doctors here have released their names: Alex Medunik, George Amadeo, and Chris McFarland. All young men, all were participants, they say, at the tournament. One needed surgery. Now, about their wounds, they are expected to be okay. One was grazed on the side of a head, I am told. Now, this is unofficial, but the other 2 took bullets to the feet or their legs. They will all survive. Mayor Lenny Curry told me, by the way, off camera, that it's too soon to know what sparked that shooting rampage. As for the next half hour, we'll be telling you a little bit more from Governor Scott, including what he had to say about the issue of guns after yet another mass shooting here in Florida. Live at Memorial Hospital, Jeff Vallon, First Coast News, on your side.
Jeff, thanks so much. So the shooter wounded 9 people today at the landing. 2 others were hurt during that chaos at the landing, just trying to run away and find some sort of cover. First Coast News' Alex Osiris joins us now live from UF Health. And we know some people shot came to UF Health by ambulance. Others actually came in private cars. What are you hearing now about their conditions?
Well, at least 2 people were taken by private vehicles, Jeannie, and some still here at UF Health. I'll step out of the way, but we have been watching the posts of one family of one of the victims, Timothy Assolino. Now, he was shot at the tournament. I spoke with his father via text message, and he says his son was shot in the abdomen several times, but he credits his son's large size for possibly saving his life. Now, he adds that his son's mother is here at the hospital and plans to stay here overnight. She was posting on Twitter, actually, as Governor Scott came into the room to meet with her son, as well as Mayor Lenny Curry, shaking his hand and checking on his condition. I've reached out to her to see if she can update us on Timothy's future, as well as the long road to recovery that he's certain to have after receiving multiple gunshots. We're live at UF Health. Alex Osiris, First Coast News, on your side.
Alex, thank you for that update. You know, word of this afternoon's shooting spread quickly around the country. We all got text from loved ones asking if we're okay. And for those who know their family and friends worked or frequently visited the landing, the wait for a reply was agonizing. Our Juliette Dreyer continues our team coverage tonight, live from the South Bank.
Anthony, you know, we have to remember that for every person who was inside of the landing today, there are so many other people, family and friends, who care about them. And for those people, they waited in anguish to find out whether their loved ones were safe.
It was really scary. Brianna Gracia describes the moment she received a text message from her friend. There had been a mass shooting at the Jacksonville landing. Her husband works inside.
Is Brian okay? There was a shooting at the landing. I tried to call his cell phone, couldn't get a hold of him, and I ended up getting a ride down here to find out what was going on.
When we spoke with her, Gracia still hadn't been able to reach her husband of 4 years, the father of her 5 children. But she found out through a friend that he was okay.
I'm originally from Boston, and I was there when the Boston bombings happened. So I would think that the move into Jacksonville, it was a little bit of a safe haven.
That image of a safe haven now shattered, yet she knows she'll see her husband again, a gift that's been robbed from other families.
I'm gonna go home with my kids and let them know that he's all right. And I don't know, just go home and pray for the rest of the victims and other families that haven't had word yet, don't know what's going on.
Looking back on the whole experience, Gracia said it felt surreal. It's hard to believe that this really happened. And to be honest, I think a lot of us are feeling that same way tonight. Reporting live on the South Bank, Juliette Dreyer, First Coast News, on your side.
Well, that's true. Just the shock of like this really happened in our town today.
Right,
yeah.
right. It's hard for a lot of people to understand. And tonight, we are learning more about the man who opened fire at that video game competition.
Coming up, we're going live from Maryland as the FBI searches his home in Baltimore.
Awesome. Cool. Go ahead and try calling IFB now. Bye.
Why would you tell me go to 2 and 2 is busy?
Hey, I hear you.
You're trying to mess me up here.
Minute and a half.
Check, test. We're in a private townhouse-like community in South Baltimore. The green door behind me here is where investigators have been going in and out with the Baltimore ATF.
I got you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right.
Well, tonight we are learning more about that suspected gunman who police say opened fire at that video game tournament at the Landing. So this is David Katz, the 24-year-old who police believe shot 2 men to death before killing himself. EA Sports, the company that makes the Madden NFL series, listed Katz as a championship winner in a tournament last year. Stephanie Ramirez from our sister station in Washington, D.C. joins us live now from Baltimore, where the FBI has been searching Katz's home.
Good evening, the FBI and the ATF. This is a private townhouse-like community located in South Baltimore. The green door just over my shoulder here is where investigators have been going in and out for about 5 hours now. The investigators in Maryland have not shared what they pulled from the home, if they pulled anything, or what kind of motive could have propelled this to happen. But what we do know is that close to 5 hours inside of this home, which is connected through the 24-year-old suspect through family. This is the father's home. It's a family home here. One neighbor we did talk to very quickly said that the suspect was quiet, that he didn't really know him well. We will be finding out more information and sharing it with you guys, but we also know that the information the investigators pull from here, they're going to be sharing with Tampa, ATF, and Jacksonville police as well. We are live here in Baltimore. On your side, Stephanie Ramirez.
Thank you very much for that perspective from Baltimore Live tonight. Now, in the middle of all the chaos downtown in Jacksonville today, some witnesses were escorted to the Times Union Center to be debriefed by police. Investigators thought that they might have some valuable information in this case. First Coast News' Ken Amaro went there to see if he could catch up with any of those survivors. Ken?
That's correct, Jeannie. Tonight I'm here on the North Bank. Behind me you can see the city skyscape, very beautiful, if you will, a stark contrast to what was happening at the Landing right here, just a couple of yards away from me. And over here at the Times Union Performing Arts Center, of course, is where there was a beehive of activity earlier today as police officers were talking with witnesses who may have been in that in Chicago Pizza in that gaming room, as well as employees of the Landing. They were here talking with them for countless hours, trying to gather as much information to piecemeal what actually took place and what the motive may have been. It's quiet now. It looks like just a couple of officers here tonight. But during the event, we discovered that this has had a chilling effect on the gaming community from coast to coast. In fact, I spoke with Jake Alonso. He lives in California and he has been paying close attention. He is a gamer, and this is the reaction to what happened here today. What are your feelings? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
Right now, I'm just in shock and disbelief that something like this could happen. You know, it's hard to believe that, like, people are there to play, have fun, you know, just be yourself and play Madden, and then having something like this happen, it's just a blow. It's like, I don't know, it's hard to comprehend, basically.
And that's the situation. It's hard to comprehend for anyone, whether you're a gamer or someone who lives in this community. What happened today was supposed to be a fun event, a sporting event, and it ended tragically. Tonight, investigators have pretty much packed up. They've taken their stuff. Just a couple of cars here at the Times Union Performing Arts Center, which indicates they may be ready to shut down the command center. Right now, the police tape is still up. The Landing is about 200 yards Behind me, that is still cordoned off, so we'll see what happens in the morning as far as the investigation go. We know who did it. We just don't know why as yet. At the landing, Canamero, First Coast News, on your side.
Now, weather with your First Coast News storm experts, powered by AC Designs.
And under a bright moon, weather-wise, it'll be a quiet evening with temperatures into the 70s, and they'll climb down, dip down into the 70s. So it'll be a little bit warm and muggy through the overnight. Now, waking up for our Monday, feature a nice sunrise, so hopefully we could start the week on the right note with the sea breeze going, and as it gets going, it will spark 1 or 2 showers in the afternoon, but I think really only isolated activity is expected, so much less in the way of rain and thunderstorms than we saw over today and yesterday as well. So those showers and thunderstorms may pop up as early as the noon hour, and they'll work from east to west with the sea breeze. And here you go on the right side of your screen, there's a precision cast popping up around 1 o'clock or so, and then as early as, say, 3 or 4 o'clock, most of that shower and thunderstorm activity should be off towards the west and dwindling. So I wouldn't count on the rain. I think you can count more on some of the sunshine we'll experience, and a warm breeze featuring our Monday afternoon, getting our temperatures into the low 90s. High pressure develops and really gets to build in just a little bit more through the week. So I think we see more of that warmer breeze and some drier conditions. So over the next couple of days, thinking more isolated shower activity and drier conditions. So a little bit more sunshine over the next couple of days as we head into the work week. How about the tropics in the Atlantic? It's pretty quiet now and likely to be quiet over the next 5 to 7 days. But I think as we are approaching peak season, as we get to it's maybe the first full week of September, there we could be keeping our eyes into the deep Atlantic as we maybe have 1 or 2 waves of energy out there. So just something to keep in mind as we head towards that peak season. But as of now, nothing really to be worried about in the tropics. Through the next couple days, I mentioned a little bit more sunshine and drier conditions before more thunderstorms return by later next weekend. Guys?
Thank you, Steve. Back to our coverage now. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has not released the names of the 2 victims.
But they are being recognized and memorialized all across social media and the virtual world that they inhabited in life. Gamers are posting memorials to their Twitter and Facebook pages and posting these pictures of them. Now, there is a GoFundMe page that's been set up to help their families with funeral expenses, and gaming blogs have identified them as Eli Clayton, who went by True Boy, and Taylor Robinson, who is known online as Spot Me Please.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with more coverage on the shooting at the landing.
Gamer says he was watching the other gamers compete when gunfire erupted. He says Yes, that gamer says he was watching the other gamers compete when he heard the gunfire erupt.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. This fire station is buttoned up for the night. Quite a different scene today.